Welcome into Rounding the Bases.
Round the bases. Everybody knows Joe Goldberg. It's around the bases. Everybody knows Joe Goldberg.
Welcome into Rounding the Bases, presented by Community America Credit Union, invested in you. A shout out to my good friends at Chief of Staff Kansas City. If you're looking for a job, looking to hire somebody, looking for a great group that understands people and culture, they listen. You don't have to be in Kansas City. Check them out. Love doing all the work that I do with them. chiefofstaffkc.com, making connections that matter. My connection today actually came on the court. Today's guest is leading one of the biggest booms in modern sports. Nate Peterson is the Executive Director of Strategic Partnerships for the Association of Pickleball Players, the world's first and only professional pickleball tour. From elite competition to developing the next generation of stars, Nate and the APP are shaping the future of America's fastest growing sport. Before stepping into the world of pickleball, he built a career in business development, and now he's bringing that same strategic vision to a game exploding in popularity across every age group. The paddle space has become a movement, and Nate Peterson is helping move it forward. And I don't think that he ever grew up thinking that he would be working in the world of pickleball, because probably didn't know what it was. I certainly didn't. Nate, how are you?
I'm good, Joel. Thanks for having me. And I'm in the crazy world of pickleball, which has been really, really cool to see. So excited to talk about it.
All right, before we lose everybody that is sick of hearing about pickleball, I promise you we're not going to sit there and talk the whole time about why this sport is so great. I'm addicted. I've been addicted now for a little less than 2 years, and anybody that knows me knows that it's a sickness in the best of ways, and I'll just say that it is good mentally, physically, socially, and you've probably heard about that. But, you know, I'm not here to promote the sport. That's your job, I guess, but although the more the better. But I am fascinated about how your previous life has worked in terms of business development in this world, because you're on the, I don't know if cutting edge is the right way to say it, but there's such an explosion for this that the market, it to me seems like it's never ending. I know there's a massive event coming to the Kansas City area too. How did you get into this world?
Yeah, no, you're right, Joel. 10 years ago, working in professional sports, would I see myself in pickleball? Probably not, but I love the path that has led me here. Joel, I took a chance. I grew up in Norman, Oklahoma, went to the University of Oklahoma, fell in love with Kansas City, and made a move up here because of this sports town that I think is still slept on, right? We have an incredible sports town. I've been doing business development here in the Midwest for a long time, and I say this a lot. We do sports in the lake, and we do both. I mean, it's what our passions are. So cut my teeth in the professional soccer world, and then had a chance to help the wonderful crew up at KU and that whole conglomerate that Travis Goff is building. And then it led me to my next challenge, which is educating Kansas City and everybody that there's a large event coming up here in September. And I think for us, Joel, I'm with you. I got the bug a couple of years ago, but I don't think we're going to witness a sport do what it's about to do in our lifetime. So it's pretty cool to be on the ground floor.
I think the coolest part about it is that it's all ages, all types. You know, my wife and I were in California last week, at least as you and I are recording this, with the Royals, and we had an off day. And so we off day before facing the Angels. So we were driving down the coast a little bit. We were passing through Laguna Beach, which is beautiful. And I said, I want to drive up to whatever neighborhoods are up there and see what it looks like. And we got to the top of this winding multiple neighborhoods, and about 1,000 feet above the Pacific Ocean. And there's this park up there. And up there I saw, I wish I had my paddle. Up there I saw people playing pickleball. I mean, in like one of the most majestic backgrounds overlooking the ocean and the mountains. And I saw men, I saw women, I saw kids that looked like they might have been college age. I saw senior citizens and everything in between. And I think that's what makes this thing so unique, is that while it's not for everyone in terms of not everyone's going to have interest, it includes people from all walks of life and all skills. And I don't like, you can't go to the park and play in a pickup basketball game featuring a 17-year-old boy and an 80-year-old woman. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that before. Have you?
No, I agree with you. I think we say it a lot here. We say 8 to 80, and we mean it, Joel. I mean, take some of these pickleball players. They already have 8 to 9 year careers, and they're only 20 and 21 year olds, right? So you nailed it. What I love is the community that pickleball builds. It can be, to your point, some of your best buddies playing right next to you, they've known forever. And then the next day, I'll go to an open play and play with a complete stranger, but build a relationship with that person super quickly. So, to your point too, it's men, women, children, older people, and everything in between. And as long as there's competitive, fun pickleball happening, I don't think anyone cares, right? It's almost what happens off the court that has really blown this sport up because of the stories I hear every day in pickleball. It's empowering.
Yeah, I mean, seeing a guy like Andre Agassi who accomplished everything in life, and his wife Steffi Graf who accomplished everything in life, talking about how much it means to him now from a social standpoint, and then he's what I would imagine in his mid to later 50s at this point, I think, and it's rejuvenated him. Uh, why? I understand why this has become so important. Why has the tour? I remember when it would start to pop on TV and people were like, well, I'm not going to waste my time watching pickleball. I personally find that I don't necessarily sit down and watch that, but I get all the clips on social media, and that's how I've learned. Like these people are becoming superstars, aren't they?
Yeah, they're definitely becoming superstars, and I think you nailed it earlier, Joel. I mean, pickleball fans are pickleball players, right? To your point, you can be a Chiefs fan, a Sporting KC fan, a Royals fan, but are you going out the next day and putting together a pickup basketball game because you're a player? No. And these die-hard pickleball consumers and fans are competitive pickleball players at the same exact time. So I think that's where that empowerment is coming is you and I play multiple times a week. And now with Kansas City and Overland Park, they're getting a chance to where you and I can go watch some of the top pros from around the world that I am catching on my social media feeds now, that I'm seeing on TV. And I'm starting to follow those personalities because the pickleball player is a ton of fun. So yeah, you're exactly right. And I think it's such unique that our fans are avid players, and I think that's where you're seeing that boom.
If you followed anything at all, or just caught some of the news, the name that pops up everywhere is Anna Lee Waters, and the story's fascinating. I think I saw CBS Sunday Morning did like a whole feature on her, which is like a magazine style show. It's not a sports show. You get
Right.
celebrities on there, you get issues, you get travel, you get all kinds of. I think it's one of the best running shows really in the history of TV, because you're taken all over the world and around the country and see really cool things. And they featured her, and she's what 18 or 19 years old. So what? I mean, you're a marketing guy. You know how all of this works. Like, what has made her capture the hearts of people all over the world, and how is someone at that age that good?
Yeah, I mean, you're right, Joel. She's 19, maybe potentially turning 20 soon. I don't know the exact date, but she's had a 9 year career. And you think about that, and you do the math, and you're like, you started when you were 11, 12 years old, and she did, and she's put the work in from that young age. I think the reason why she's so lovable, liked, the stories are being done on her, is because you think about other sports and you hear about their high school careers and you think about their college careers that led them into the big leagues, but she jumped on a tour with her mom because her mom's partner got hurt at 12 and got second place, and you're like, how? But you see the work that she's put in, and you see how much her IQ about pickleball. And as you and I know, Joel, playing, it's about a game of angles and soft touches and where to place the ball. And I think she has another skill set that we haven't seen. And, she didn't grow up in the tennis world. Did she play tennis? Yeah, but it's been pickleball since day one. I think that's some of the cool stuff that we're seeing, that this was her number one sport from the get-go. And she had a great coach and her mom, but to see someone have a almost 10-year career and she's only about to be in her 20s is cool to see.
Yeah, I just looked it up. She'll turn 20 in January, and she's extremely marketable. She's extremely comfortable in front of the camera, as anyone of her generation would be, because she grew up like any Gen Z kid with a cell phone that pointed her way. I'm assuming that made for a lot of comfort in front of Instagram or TikTok or YouTube or whatever it is too. Seems to me as though she is a marketer's dream, and all of the sponsors are flocking towards her. I mean, we're talking like millions of dollars worth of income at this point, right? I mean, it's that
Yeah.
big.
Yeah. And you got big brands like Nike, making their investment in her for the first time ever to do a pickleball shoe. And when you see brands like that, Joel, we know, wow, this is something incredible that we're going to see. And when you've got those brands paying attention and say, I've got to be in that space, that's exciting to see, and can't wait to see, what else comes to the table with all these other incredible personalities that are starting to pop up in this sport that I find myself, consuming on a daily basis. One of our pros, Jack Monroe, I got to spend some time with him in Chicago, just absolutely loves the game, wants to grow it. And when you think about us, the APP, Association of Pickleball Players, we're trying to grow the sport through the players, because there's a lot of them. I mean, it's 50 million people playing around the U.S. And if we can continue to find these personalities, see the talent, and showcase it, we're going to have a sport that's going to be around for a long, long time.
Yeah, and again, I mean, what I said before is the reason why it's appealing to so many people is anybody could do it, and I've said this for a long time. I'm not the only one. I heard Andre Agassi saying it, and so many others. It is physically good, stimulating, yet you don't have to run around like a madman to do it. You could play doubles and run a little bit, run a lot. But by the time I'm done, I've burned a lot of calories. It is mentally incredible, because I feel like when you're out there, you're working on a math problem every single moment. And so your reaction has to be good, but you're constantly thinking, and then socially. And what I like about it is that you're forced to learn someone's name and to work with them for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And then you might move on to the next thing. And if you want to catch up afterwards and, make plans, great, but there's no obligation. So it's like you could be quiet and be introverted or extroverted, and you just kind of welcome everywhere. And so it's brought all of these people to it. Now you have the professional end and the APP end of it, and all these, you talk about personalities, and they're on social media, and now anyone of any age is watching them on social media, and they're learning from it. It seems to me that there's this really interesting marketing opportunity for any one of these players to become teachers while they're playing. And again, to your point before, like, all right, Michael Jordan can show you how to dunk a basketball. You can't do what he does. But
Right.
you know what I mean? I would try to do it on my little Nerf basketball net, in my room or something like that. I'm gonna be like Mike. This seems so unique too, because it feels like the perfect marketing opportunity. I want to tap into your marketing expertise, where every one of these pro players essentially has a chance to come into your living room and help you get better or teach you something.
Yeah, you're 1,000% right, Joel. It's empowering. And to your point, I think there's changes in faces that you're seeing every week. It isn't dominated by one or two or three people. Yes, Annalie Waters is the number one. She's going to be hard to take down. But every week there's changes in that leaderboard, because your exact point is, I find myself watching a ton of pickleball. One, I'm impressed because I play a lot, and I went down to our tour championships, Joel, down at the Fort. It's the mecca of pickleball, and I was like, oh, I can hang with these guys and gals. They're not that much better than me. And then I sit and watch championship court and see some of these guys and gals. I'm like, I don't think I'd score a point, but I walk out of there trying to get better. And what do? I'm watching points and matches from these players that I just saw because I think I can get better and I can do some of the things that they're doing. You're right, Joel. I'm not going out and dunking the basketball because I bought Air Jordan 1s because of Michael Jordan's marketing on the retail side, but the consumption of pickleball players is because they want to get better and they want to grow their duper and they want to get better at open play and they want to be more competitive. So you're right. The marketing that we've leaned into is pickleball for all. I think pickleball gets a little bit of bad rap, and I'd love your point. Love your opinion on it, Joel. Is I've never been on a court where people say sorry for hitting them with the ball. That's a point. That's not. You shouldn't be sorry about that. Or hitting the net cord and it rolling over on an incredible shot. Everyone's like, "Oh, sorry, my bad." It's like, no, but that's what pickleball is. It's the community feel that it builds. That everybody wants to be their best self and they want to compete, but they also walk off that court and, hey, let's grab a beer. Let's get some lunch after this. Or you build a community. And every day, Joel, I hear a story of pickleball saved my life. It got me off the couch. It got me out of depression. I've made lifelong friends at the age of 60. I've had more friends from pickleball than I did, going off to college. But they're traveling with each other. They're finding places to go that has pickleball. It's their travel is now based around pickleball and resort later. So it's been really cool to see, and I think this pickleball world has a lot that they can lean in on the marketing side. But it starts with the players and it's going to end with the players because we're continuing to see the growth of pickleball players continue to skyrocket from your first time amateur to your elite pro.
Yeah, I'll just say, like, throughout the course of the baseball season, and out of season, I'm playing 4 days a week, maybe 5 days a week. In December, go down to Florida for a little bit, playing 7 days a week just because I'm like, the weather's too nice to pass this up in December,
Right.
but or I'm a little bit crazy. But I was walking recent Royals homestand. I'm walking down to say hi to somebody in the stands, and another guy stops me. He's, Joel, when are you coming back for pickleball? I'm like, I'll see you in October.
See you in
and
October.
that's and I'll get random calls from people. Hey, can you come out? I'm like, no, it's I'm tied up with baseball and on and on. So it's like it is a bit of a drug or a cult, or I don't know. But before I ask you my baseball themed questions, I just want to get a feel for the magnitude of this event that is coming to Overland Park September 17th through the 20th at Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk, which if you haven't been out there yet, if you're in this area, it's one of the great new spots. Actually, I haven't been out there for a bit. I know it keeps growing. I was out there for the first phase, the hockey rink. I know it's growing and expanding. So it sounds like the perfect site. How big of a deal is this?
It's a big deal, Joel. I mean, the reason the APP's here in Overland Park, Overland Park's one of the most pickleball obsessed participated cities per capita in the entire United States. Thanks to our friends at Chicken and Pickle, who were kind of the leader in this market, now has 14 locations, but saw the vision of this. Joel, we're bullish about our venue on this tour. Blue Hawk is unlike any other venue on our tour stop. There, to your point, there's a sheet of ice out there. There's 12 bowling lanes. There's golf simulator, arcade, and then we're going to drop 25 plus professional courts inside that building for 4 days. And this is Overland Park and Kansas City's chance to come watch some of the top pros from around the world right in our backyard. But also, Joel, it's an open. So you and I could play right next to these pros and be empowered by it and get to see it. And again, in what other sport do you have a chance to come play the sport that you love and be playing on the next court over your people you've been watching on social or you've been watching clips on to get better? So we're going to have it's pickleball for all, Joel. We're going to have every division from 3-0 all the way up to your elite pros that are traveling around and making this a living. And we're going to play some amazing pickleball over the course of 4 days. And we're going to have men's singles, women's singles, mixed doubles, the whole get-go. And it's going to be a space for everybody. Bring the family out. The venue's great. Your kids can play arcades while dad or mom's, participating and playing. And then stay around and watch some of the pros from across the country that are competing in the sport.
It's killing me that I'm going to be on the road with the Royals, which I don't ever complain about. Last road trip of the year, so I'll be, as that is going on, moving from Houston to Pittsburgh, which will be, I think, our last road series of the year. So I'll hear about it. I'm excited to look at the clips. Let me hit you with my baseball themed questions. You've been a pickleball guy, a soccer guy, you're a sports guy, but you don't need to even be a sports person, as I've established over the years on this podcast. What's the biggest home run that you have hit in your professional career, other than beating me on the pickleball court?
Yeah, you definitely hold your own, so give yourself a little credit. But I think Joel, I think chasing this crazy world of sports, right? I think it's not for everybody. I think everybody thinks working in sports is just hanging out with the players and doing all the fun behind the scenes things. But I got to cut my teeth with Sporting Kansas City, who was a team that was new into the MLS market and into a market where maybe soccer wasn't everybody's first choice, and kind of out punching our weight class and establishing ourselves when I was at Sporting as the soccer capital of America. And look how Kansas City showed up for the World Cup this last couple of months. It was incredible. And then that led me to getting a chance to open up what you're going to see is a $1 billion entity up at KU, and what Travis Goff is doing with that whole university, I got to be a part of. So, and now I get to, come in and build this thing from the ground up here in Overland Park with the APP Tour. Is something that doesn't happen every day, I think, in people's sports career. So I think my biggest home run, Joel, is taking a chance, leaving Norman, Oklahoma, and chasing a sports career in a market maybe isn't everyone's number one choice. There's other markets I looked at like Chicago or Dallas or where some big teams are at, but Kansas City was everything. You get the sports teams that you want with the small town feel, and the community that I've built here in Kansas City is unmatched. So I think just taking a chance, getting into a new market and investing in myself and investing in the time I put in to really just build my career here in sports has been something I'll never take for granted.
Love that. How about a swing and a miss along the way? And what did you learn from it?
I think I think we have a lot of the same connections in this market, right? And look for how our paths have crossed because of a unique pickleball experience. I saw your article on that and wanted to get a chance to get with you on and off the court. I think the biggest swing and miss for me is not leaning into my network earlier in my career. I think, I was building this and heading to all these networking events and building a relationship with all these businesses, but never really utilizing it. And a great buddy of mine, Scott Haven, said, why would you not lean into your network? This is what we do. We love helping each other that are doing good things, and it all comes full circle, especially in Kansas City. So, Joel's putting all this effort into building a really great relationship, and at the time was, getting out and talking about soccer and fighting that hill that we had to climb. And I never really leaned into it. I just was kind of afraid to. And, when I kind of wasn't afraid to reach out and ask for favors or ask for, hey, can you make an intro to this person? Because I think they'd be perfect for an opportunity to come on and support pickleball. I think I should have done that earlier, and that was probably my miss. But, as we all know, you can take multiple swings and learn from it. So that's always been my advice to some of I have young guys and gals asking me, hey, what's the biggest life lesson you would do in sports? And I said, lean into your network. It's a small world, and it'll take you a lot of places you didn't think you'd go.
Okay, and the last one is small ball. What are the little things that add up to big results for you?
I think for me, Joel, is listening and understanding where people are at in their business life cycles. I deal with a lot of relationships in the corporate business development world. And I think one thing I'm excited about is pickleball. There's a lot of things happening in the space. I mean, I have a lot of companies come to me and saying, hey, Nate, can we lean into the APP and maybe do our own pickleball fundraiser because we want to raise some money? And our golf tournament's been incredible, but we see more participation happen in pickleball. Can you help us figure that out? All the way up from, hey, this is a blank canvas in the pickleball space. I think every conversation I have, Joel, everyone either plays pickleball, knows someone who plays all the time, or was like, man, I need to get out there and play more. And I think this in the world for me right now, just having opportunities to talk about what the pickleball space will bring to the table from across the board on businesses and how they can lean in? Is it, hey, bring out all of your employees and come watch pros and hang out and watch some high-end pickleball? Have you ever had a chance to do that? No. Hey, is there some opportunities for some corporate sponsorships that you can get involved in? There's that as well. But it's the community that I've loved, Joel, that for the small ball stuff is every single time I'm on a court or just around pickleball, I meet someone new that has an incredible story. So I think for me, just leaning into the community that sports brings, but also in pickleball, to your point, it's almost what happens off the court that I get surprised more and more every day. It's, I was playing pickleball the other day, and someone like you, I can't get enough of it. I'll play less golf and more pickleball because it's competitive. I get an exercise, and it scratches that competitive edge I've been looking for. So I just love what the sports community and pickleball is bringing to the table right now.
It has become the modern day version, or at least another version of doing business on the golf course. And it's hard to do business on the pickleball court because it's moving too fast, but you do it afterwards and you make those connections. And I've seen so much of that. Okay, 4 final questions as we round the bases. Let's start with what you just finished up with. What are you hearing from sponsors is the biggest draw? I mean, they want to go where they're going to get the most exposure. Obviously, they're looking at trends. It feels to me like sponsors are flocking towards pickleball right now, not just the big names like the Nikes. What are you hearing from that world?
I think people want an advocate like the APP to say, how do I get involved, Joel? I think people understand the craze of pickleball. And to your point, how you started this whole thing off is people might be sick of everyone talking about it, but 50 million active people playing in the U.S. I just got a stat the other day that 350 million are playing in Asia alone. And it's the community that comes along with pickleball. In what other sport can you interact with the young, 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds all the way up to the retirees of 70 and 80? It's hard, but this sport brings that overnight and everybody in between. So it's an audience that I think is, I say this a lot, Joel, and I think you mentioned it cult-like in a good way, very loyal, very sticky. And at this tour event for 4 days, it's not like these players and fans and spectators are going to be there for 15 minutes. We're playing pickleball from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And then on Saturday and Sunday, you're going to see 6 hours of gold medal matches happening. So people are going to be on site. They're going to be sticky and loyal, and they're going to see brands that support a sport that they have passion for. And I think you're going to get a lot more in the pickleball space when it comes to a corporate sponsorship than maybe in other sports, to where you don't get the depthness of interacting with those players. I think 1 in 4 in Kansas City are playing every day, Joel. It's just those numbers are astonishing. So for corporations that want to get involved, there's a place for you. And I think the APP would love to have those conversations, see how you can utilize pickleball as a great way to drive business forward with a great audience.
All right, second question as we round the bases. You talked about working for Sporting, that soccer world. It's such a unique world. I think actually every single sport has its own uniqueness to it. I mean, I've been in baseball obviously forever. Did a lot of football, a lot of NHL hockey too, and they all have a different rhythm. I never covered soccer. I played it growing up, but that's a different breed too. I mean, I'm pretty gung-ho right now on soccer. Like I'm trying to not make it 4 more years until the next World Cup, because I just love so much of it. And I'm now committed to the Premier League this year. And it could have been any of the big leagues over in Europe. How would you describe the soccer culture from the time that you spent in it over at Sporting? Because it is a unique world, and I know one that had to have shaped you.
Yeah, I mean, I got a great story, and I'll make it quick, Joel. So I grew up in Norman, Oklahoma, where college football is life, right? Oklahoma Sooners, on Saturday, the town shuts down. And when I invited my mom and dad to come up to watch a soccer game, my dad was like, "Really, son? Soccer? Like, huh?" But I'll tell you what, you walk into that Sporting KC stadium and you see the cauldron drumming, chanting, firing off smoke bombs, and standing for 90 minutes and screaming at their top of the lungs because of the passion that they have. I mean, by the time my dad got done with his first soccer match, he knew the chants he started researching. He knew more about the sporting team than I did half the time. He was sending me stuff. I think what really stands out is that soccer fan, Joel. I mean, they're passionate. They love their club and they love supporting soccer. I think for everybody. I mean, they want everybody that camaraderie and the cauldron, what they do and the passion that they have for every single game showing up and making sure that those players know that they've got a rally behind them is unlike any other. I mean, I've been to Monterrey, Mexico when Sporting was there in the Open Cup, and we were cocky walking in there thinking we could hang, and then we went and got beat, 4-0. And it's like soccer's huge, and they've been playing it over here, and it's their passion. And we went into that Monterrey, Mexico stadium, which is one of the most beautiful backdrops in the entire world. You're like, wow, I can't even imagine. And you saw it. It was in their blood from little kids who've been watching soccer with their dad forever. And I think that's what you're seeing in soccer now is these young millennial families, they're going to soccer with mom and dad, right? They're growing up in the sport. Prior to me coming into sporting, we went to baseball with dad. We went to football with mom and dad. But now you've got soccer doing that. That's where you're seeing that excitement.
The world changes, no doubt. Third question, and I was thinking about this because you talk about working at KU, but being an OU guy. And I, for years, have had questions about, but like, who's your favorite team? I'm like, it's the Royals. I work with them every day. I want them to win. But didn't you grow up a fan of, I grew up a fan of the Philadelphia Phillies before we moved to Chicago. Well, do you still root for them? No, not really. I mean, I'm not a fan like I was before. And I'll have people say, oh man, that breaks my heart. I'm like, no, this is the price to pay for getting to work in sports every day as it becomes work. It's the best work in the world, but I'm not the same fan, and that's okay. The two biggest sacrifices I had to make were, one, family, and thank goodness we as a family figured that out, and we're still all together, and this is the life. And two is that you view sports differently, and I'm wondering what that was like for you being an OU guy. And by the way, OU, for those that don't remember, OU and KU used to be in the same conference and rivals, maybe not at the level of KU Mizzou, but not too far off as well. But I always thought about that as a Wisconsin guy. I went to the University of Wisconsin. If I'd ended up at Michigan, I didn't want to end up at Michigan, just anybody but Michigan or Ohio State. But if I would have been all in on them too. Yep. What was that like for you? It's hard for people to understand that when your passion becomes your work, which is what we all want, by the way, but it comes with a different perspective.
Yeah. One, you nailed it, Joel. Family's everything. I met my wife at Sporting. She worked for Kroenke Sports for 10 years. She's seen a lot of sports. So she's cut from the same cloth, right? Because sports is both ends of the candle. You're burning the midnight oil a lot of the times. And she's a KU grad. So when I got the opportunity to have the chance to go up to KU, she was thrilled. But I always had a rule with her, hey, you be an OU football fan, I'll be a KU basketball fan, because we got the best of both worlds there, Joel. But you gotta take your passion hat off. Like, I'm an OU fan, through and through, but I have so much respect for what Travis Goff is doing with a university that could have just leaned into basketball and focused all the NIL efforts on one sport. But that wasn't the way he was going to grow that university. And to see what they've done with that football stadium, but look what the baseball team did. Mm-hmm. Look what the women's soccer team is doing. Look what the women's volleyball team is doing. And now volleyball, look what you've got going now with the stadium and what that's going to bring to Lawrence. So to have that and see that and get to be a part of that, I'll be a fan for life, Joel. And I think I almost took it for granted, even not being a KU grad, is I got to go to Allen Fieldhouse more than 10 times, more than 20 times. And some diehard sports fans circle Allen Fieldhouse as a bucket list item to go once. And I got to witness that magic for a lot. So that's where that passion comes from, is to have the respect for some of these sports entities that get to do these for fans and see it through another side of a fan's eyes at Allen Fieldhouse was incredible.
Yeah, couldn't agree with you more. And I still love my Wisconsin Badgers, and we'll get angry every single weekend when they lose, which happens a lot, unfortunately, on Saturdays nowadays. but that's where I get all my fan emotion out, and the rest of it is perspective, looking for good games, looking for good stories. Okay, final question. The walk-off, the big event, is coming up. And it's not just, you talked before about, hey, anybody can come and sign up and play and be in this open. But what an opportunity just to be entertained over the course of a weekend, September 17th through the 20th. There's just talk about that too, because there are really opportunities for families and people to just go and experience something different.
Yeah, number one, if you're a pickleball player in any fashion, come out and play. Don't be intimidated because the pros will be there. I know some people, Joel, are like, oh, I didn't know I could play in that. We want every single amateur to come out and not only get to play with their pickleball buddies and crew, but also get to see some of the elite from around the world. Number two, if you don't want to play in the open, come out and watch. We're going to have, a sponsorship village with really cool stuff happening from a lot of great local companies. We're going to have food truck type festival things happening. That venue itself alone is fun without, 25 courts being activated with pickleball players. So there's a space for everybody. We're going to have a championship court where you're going to get to see some gold medal matches. You can sit VIP hospitality. So if there's a business development opportunity, there's something for everybody. So I think year one, Joel, as Blue Hawk and that whole sports park continues to build out and get bigger, is come hang out with us, come see what this is all about. And I'm hoping you walk in and you're like, I'm not going to miss that. That's an event that's going to be on my calendar for the next, 10 years. And that's what we hope. So there's a place for everybody. Come out, have fun, watch pickleball, play pickleball. We want this to be the community that pickleball is, and let Kansas City know that they've got a spot here in Overland Park that is part of a 10 tour stop. So it's one of the elite markets that we're excited about.
It's going to be a lot of fun. September 17th to the 20th, Advent Health Sports Park at Blue Hawk in Overland Park. The app.global. You can get more information. The app.global will have that in our show notes. Nate, thank you so much for coming on. Enjoyed it. I'll see you on the court sometime soon, and good luck with the event.
Thanks, Joel. Yeah, can't wait to get back on the court with you. Thanks for everything.
It's around the bases. Everybody knows Joe Goldberg.